Hi, Michael.
Hi, Danielle. How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you?
Yeah, still here. Still in lockdown, but yeah, everything's okay.
It just is what it is. Just trying to keep sane, like me, I guess.
Yeah, keep your head down and get on with it.
Yeah. It, so I think today we did speak about the documentary that was on BBC Two a couple of weeks ago around the hidden sort of world of disability, and it was done by quite a well-known uh,
Yeah,
TV presenter, children's TV presenter, Seri Bungle,
yeah.
who was an amputee, and I think we both watched it now, so I think it would be a good place to start. What did you think of it overall?
I mean, I think it's always good to see programs of disability on TV, but like I think it gives people a kind of good insight into what it was like and how people was badly treated for people with like disabilities and stuff, and they went through like the history of the program. So lets people see like where we've came from to where it is now. And I say we could agree, Daniel, it's a better society for everyone. There's still wee bits and bobs to do in terms of employment and all that. But I think that the program was good. As I say, it gives you a good insight. The only thing I was still a bit uncomfortable about they were using different language on the program. Calling people with a disability different names on the program, and I
Yeah.
wasn't very good. What about you?
I definitely think I would agree that it shows how far we've come. But I think as well it does reflect that there's still some of those historical beliefs in
Yeah,
today's society. When you mentioned on there about employment, I mean, especially in the older generation today, I think if like when I tell people that I run my own business, they're like, "Oh, you what?" Yeah, because I'm able to. But I think people still make that assumption, not just the older generation, but I think it depends how people have been obviously brought up because learned behaviour and learned ways of thinking. But I think there's still some of that in today's society, but it does show how far we've come. But it also highlighted to me a lot of things about the historical perception of disability that I didn't realise. Like, for example, I can't remember the name of the um, activist, but um, it was discussed on the programme that there was one belief that of that time that disabled people should be institutionalised and hidden away from society to stop us from reading. And that sort of really evoked anger for me because well, I'll be honest with you, when I posted about the documentary on social media, I said the world couldn't cope with two of me, but it's nothing to do with my disability. It's just because the world couldn't cope with two of me. Because I think I'm quite unique, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that would agree. So to have two of me to deal with, I'm not sure some people would know how to do that, but it's nothing to do with my cerebral palsy. It's just me.
or
Um,
nothing to do with your hair.
oh, nothing at all. Well, maybe it's more to do with my health and my disability,
Mhm.
and because you know, because people couldn't deal with my crazy. Too many people with crazy hair. I don't know, but it's not. Like I said, it's not related to disability, and just that whole concept of like disabled people shouldn't read. that doesn't sit well at all. I mean, I know, like, for example, my ex-boyfriend, his little brother's got cerebral palsy, and he has 2 kids of his own now. So that is just one example of how disabled people, if you want to use the word, can breed and have families of their own, just like anybody else. Obviously, there might be situations where that isn't possible, but to put a blanket approach of disabled people should be hidden and not be given the opportunity to have their own families, that really did evoke anger from me when I was watching it, to be fair.
Yeah, no, yeah, people are kind of like, I know it's Carol May saying this, but people are kind of like shut away and like forgotten about, and like they would get mixed with kind of like able-bodied or non-disabled people or whatever the PC word is today, but like they would get mixed with like people, they would get shut away and stuff. But I think it's like a totally different world now. I mean, okay, people's got the issues now getting, oh, you know more about this than me, like self-directed support and like opportunities, and even the thing is, well, you scare yourself, Daniel, but like there's other people out there that might be watching us or whatever would love to scare themselves, but like they haven't got that self-directed support or that care system to kind of help them like that. Like they're, yeah.
We know from, like, I know from my experience, like you just said, and from like colleagues and stuff, self-directed support is a big, has made a massive difference, and like for a lot of people, it's moved them out of those institutions and allowed them to live independently in their own home. But that's been such a massive adjustment, and it would never have been held of back at the time.
Yeah, but I mean, what I would say, Daniel, was there's a bit of a myth out there about self-directed support because different areas in Scotland don't attain self-directed support.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's implemented so differently in various
Yeah, and it's a shame as well because it was meant to come in to help people and like improve people's lives independently, like living by themselves or like hiring, getting a car and getting somebody to drive on your behalf,
Yeah, and I did like hear a really positive story just last night actually, where I was made aware that somebody that I know has recently received a budget for her whole family, but it's been a massive fight to get to this point. But now that she's actually got to this point, it's going to make such a difference to not only one person but the whole family. And I think that's what's missing sometimes. They're very much on just what do people need to live rather than seeing the person as a whole.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I mean, background self-directed support, I don't think that word was invented.
It certainly wasn't, because I'm 35 now, but I started receiving support on a daily basis just to personal circumstances when I was 14. So we're talking over 20 years now. And I can see the difference. There's still a long way to go, but back then, at the age of 14, I used to get letters about my support, and it would be signed by somebody high up, and then underneath it would say Old People Services, and I'm like, I'm 14. You know what I mean? But there was nothing at that time for me to fit into, if you like, other than old people services. And I think that documentary that we're talking about, I think that goes back and shows even more what it was like back then, that you had to fit into what could be provided rather than what suits each individual.
Yeah, and I know that if people want to watch it, it's still on BBC iPlayer because I know that you told me about it, and I never get round to watching it on the night, but it's still on the BBC iPlayer, and it's a kind of like eye opener as well.
Yeah, and I think it relates a lot to not just the media portrayal of disability in TV, but also like media, just headlines in general, because people tend to go with headlines and sell papers like one that I had. It was a really good article, but about Europe Misunderstood, but it was an awful headline, and it said sufferer sets up
Mm,
organisation, and I never say I suffer from CP. I say I have it. I don't
mm,
suffer from it. I know that there's a lot of people watching this and out there that might disagree.
mm,
Because there's a lot of medical things that can be attached to CP. But for me, I don't suffer. I have CP. And I think you and I are doing some separate work around media portrayals of disability, but I think that documentary fits in quite well with what we're trying to move away from and what we're trying to highlight by doing this work.
Yeah, I mean, I think way back at the beginning of that documentary, the presenter, and I can't remember her name, but um,
Terry.
yeah, and she got a few emails to say, well, who's that in the telly and all that, you know, but I think it's quite good to see that on the telly because then it knocks down the barriers that's out there. And what me and you're trying to do is like trying to change people's minds and attitudes. And maybe they haven't really thought about it before. So it's kind of like opening up people's minds and say, yeah, you should have really done that, you know, and all that. So I think like overall programs like that kind of like helps to break down the barriers as well. But as well as like looking forward, we should look back and where look where we've came from, and we've came a hell of a long way. Still a way to go, right enough, but well, you know, it's better than what it was. And like when you see people on TV, not even TV, people in soaps at EastEnders and River City and stuff like that, it's good to see that, you know, disability characters are coming into mainstream programs. But what I would like to see is disability characters coming into the programs, not playing a person with a disability, if that really makes sense, or not kind of like follow a kind of like storyline.
Yeah, and I think as well what I came up was in that in that TV program was the fact that Sarah Blair was talking about her experience as a children's TV presenter when parents were concerned about letting their kids watching on TV because she was an amputee and she would scare people.
Yeah.
Apparently, in their view, because she was an amputee. I think that was totally wrong. I actually remember that happening.
Yeah, no, I know. we've also got to speak about the programme that was way back at the beginning of February, I think, about Katie Price's son Harvey. It was called Cakey, Price, Harvey and Me. And it was a kind of like documentary. I don't know your views on that, Danielle. I know that we were talking about self-directed support, and that came into that in a big way as well.
Yeah, that and I know that Katie Price has received some backlash along the way about Harvey's care, but I can honestly relate to the fact that she's looking to his future and where she needs him to be as an adult, because of that. That is why I did what I did moving into my own house. Telling myself I'm a dad to have that father-daughter relationship, and I think stripping away her celebrity status, at the end of the day, she's his mum, so she's going to do what she thinks is right for her son.
And also, again, if you haven't saw that programme, it's on BBC iPlayer, but I'm sure, Danielle, that they told you at the end of the documentary, I think Harvey and Cakey will find out in March if they've got a place in a school.
Yeah, and I think as well, I read that they were actually going to do a follow-up to it.
All right, yeah, that's good.
I read that on social media a couple of weeks ago to let the audience see if he actually does get the place they want for him. And also, I think from the first documentary, because they were talking about Harvey's love of trains, Scott Rail offered the chance of Network Rail, offered them the chance to, when it's safe to do so after COVID, to make an announcement.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Train station. So I think the follow-up documentary will be following along that opportunity.
Yeah, no, I did see that. I think it was a good opportunity because obviously Kate Price has got the kind of like platform to do that. But again, I think it's good for people to see that how because people with a disability, like of me and you and other people, life is not kind of straightforward at times, that you've got to fight your own corner.
Yeah, totally. And I think I'm not a big follower of celebrities and stuff, to be fair. Obviously, I do go on social media. I'm not a big fan of Twitter, to be fair, the whole celeb following thing. But obviously, over the years, I've seen bits about Harvey and about his disability and stuff. But I'll put my hands up and say I didn't realise until I watched that documentary. I know he has the mindset of like a child, but I didn't realise at the same time how verbal and how able he is because of the media portrayals of him. Because when you actually watch the documentary, with support and a bit of encouragement, yes, he has challenging behaviour, and yes, that can be scary and everything at times, but also when you take the time to spend with him and actually know what his capabilities are and encourage him and know what his interests are, he can interact quite well. And for me, that was a big wake-up call on how the media have actually portrayed him.
Yeah, because there was one bit in the programme that he was making his bed, you know, and that was kind of like good to see. But I think it's a kind of like ongoing story, and I think that Cakey Price has got a kind of law that's going through Parliament at the moment called Harvey's Law.
Yeah, I did see something about that. I think it's around like how he's portrayed and different things. That and how disabled people like him, and disabled people in general should be portrayed.
Yeah. So again, if you've not watched that program, it gives you a good insight into, and even though it's in England, Danielle, but I think it relates to people all over Scotland, but also maybe all over the big world that we live in.
Yeah, definitely, and I think these two programs are examples, definitely, of, especially in the challenging times we live in at the moment, when it's been evident in the social media that in a lot of cases disabled people have been forgotten about. So I think these programs have came at a very good time when it shows that despite the challenges of disability and despite the fact that we've got a long way to go, we have come quite far.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. Yeah. So, but if you've got any comments to make on this vlog that me and Daniel's doing, please comment and let us know. And even if you want us to speak about anything, please.
Yeah, that'd be good. If you've got any ideas that we could do as topics or things they want raised that they don't feel they can raise themselves, and we can have a discussion about it.
And I don't think they would have to be disability issues. They can be a wide range of kind of different issues. Yeah.
Anything at all. So we'll say watch this space about what our next topic should be about then, shall we?
Yeah, watch this space. Yeah. And I'll see you soon, Danielle.
Yeah, see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.